What's good, YouTube? It's your boy Dgotsauce back with another live, man. It's been a minute. It feels like I'm not even gonna lie. It's been a minute. Been right about 2 weeks, maybe since I've been on live, and a lot has been happening in the news. A lot has been happening in life. We blessed to just see another day, man. We blessed to be able to come here and you know give our opinions, give our thoughts on situations, and you know, just just come back here and chat it up with the peoples, man. Real talk, man. It's a pleasure, really. It really is a pleasure to do this, man. Every single chance I get, because I don't get much time to do me. You know what I'm saying? I don't get much time to just uh come here, be myself, and you know say what I want to say, how I want to say it, without without people taking too much offense to what I gotta say. So I appreciate y'all for all the support, all the love. I appreciate everything you guys been giving. You guys have been growing my channel so fast, extremely fast, and I'm trying to keep up. I really am. I'm trying to keep up um with the motion. I'm trying to keep up with the people, the comments, all that. And it's a lot. Some days it's a lot, some days it's not much, but we enjoying the process and we enjoying the journey. I want to say this, man, before we get into the show. Make sure you guys hit that like button, hit that subscribe button too if y'all are new. And make sure that you guys type in the chat where you guys from, making sure that everything is good on my end. Cool, we good, we good. Yeah, it's a blessing, man. It's a blessing to see another day. It's a blessing to be here.
Man who officially.
Sorry, I'm ahead of myself. It's a blessing to have life, to attack every day as if we didn't have another day to live. You know what I'm saying? It's a blessing, bro. It's really a blessing. And um I want to say this. I really do want to say this. I want to say this, man. Follow your dreams, bro. This goes for the ladies too, man. Follow your dreams, accomplish your goals, write them down, even if it feels like those goals are so far away. Even if it feels like those goals are damn near unattainable. Follow your dreams, man. Follow your goals, because it's really you against you out there. What up, cool boy? Thank you for tuning in, my guy. It's really about you, man, and how much you want for your life. Nobody else is gonna live it for you. Nobody else is gonna push for you. Nobody else is gonna be there for you at all times. You might have your circle of friends and family that you depend on, but when it comes down to it, man, it's all on you. It's all on you. Oh, shout out to you, Joseph from Nigeria, man. I appreciate you for tuning in, man. Shout out to you, bro. Thank you for the love. It's all on you, man. And we gonna make the best of this situation. We gonna make the best of life every single day, man. Every single day. Without a doubt, man. Even in the worst days, keep your head up. Keep your chin tucked. And know that you can survive, you can move forward, and tomorrow's another day to bounce back. It's life. This game of life, it's not easy for a lot of people. Some people, they want to take their lives, and some people don't think they're worth living. But I'm here to tell you, man, you keep going on, man. You keep living, you keep being you keep being great and accomplish everything you want in this life, because you can do it, man. You can do it. I'm in Boston. Massachusetts. Moja. I'm from Boston, Massachusetts. A little town. I don't want to say the town, but I'm in the South Shore area of Boston, Massachusetts. And we here, man. We here. Where y'all from? Let me know where y'all from in the chat. Let me know where y'all from. But a lot of things have been going on, man. This week, a lot of things have been going on in the news, in the headlines. And, oh, shoot, we from Bangladesh. Shout out to my Bangladeshians. I hope I said that right. Love, bro, love. I appreciate you for tuning in, man. If y'all are new to the channel, man, make sure you guys hit that like button. Make sure you guys hit that subscribe button. We gonna get into today's episode. We got a lot to talk about. Honestly, we got so much to talk about, bro. It's pretty crazy what's been going on in the news, and I know y'all all heard about the shooting that was going down at the White House Correspondents' Dinner. So we gonna start it off there. All right. Let me know y'all thoughts, man. I got a poll in the chat. I want to know if y'all think that President Trump is going to last all 4 years, or if he's possibly going to get assassinated. A lot of people thinking that, you know, he's going to make it. But by the looks of it, it's looking like it's going to be a lot of pressure for him to make it all 4 years. And I hope he makes it all 4 years, because I don't want to see anybody get shot. I don't want to see anybody get killed, obviously, especially the president of the United States. But, you know, there's so much hate out there that's going towards him. And, you know, it can happen. But let me know y'all thoughts, man. Let's tune into the video. Let's get into it. See what's going on out here in these streets.
Man who officials say fired shots after charging through the security checkpoint at Saturday's White House Correspondents' Dinner is still in police custody, and he has been identified as 31-year-old Cole Thomas Allen of California. A source familiar with the matter tells CNN that the suspect's family alerted police about the writings indicating anti-Trump ideology. Jen Sullivan has the details.
So, first and foremost, we're gonna break this down a little bit. All right, I did not think we was going to see a black man or a light-skinned man trying to take out the president of the United States. That's the first thing I want to say. I didn't think he had the guts. I didn't think a lot of people had the guts, but I don't think that I wouldn't have expected this one. I'll be honest with you. I didn't expect this one. This one blew me by surprise here. But we have this young man that is from California, clearly very liberal, by the stuff that he was saying in his tweets and all that. That's just stuff that I've heard, but this man tried to take out President Trump, and he failed dramatically. But he actually did survive. That's the craziest part about this whole situation. This guy survived it.
So what happened?
Serious security concerns are being raised after this surveillance video shows an armed man charging through a Secret Service checkpoint at the Washington Hilton Saturday night before opening fire. This as hundreds of journalists and high-profile politicians, including the president and First Lady, gather in a nearby ballroom for the annual White House Correspondents' Dinner.
It does appear the suspect was targeting members of the administration.
Inside the ballroom, guests could hear what sounded like shattered glass and shots fired. President Donald Trump whisked off the stage by Secret Service agents.
And it was pretty loud noise. It was a matter of seconds before we were out the door and gone into an area.
People scrambling to safety, ducking under tables, including the evening's headliner, mentalist Oz Perlman, who says he was performing a trick for the president and First Lady when they heard a disruption.
Let me just get over this video
to the floor beside him.
We just look at each other for about 2 seconds. And my mind, obviously, this is like a huge adrenaline, is just like, oh no, are we about to die?
Police say the suspect was armed with a shotgun, handgun, and multiple knives. CNN's Wolf Blitzer was just feet away from the man when he started shooting.
I hear gunshots, boom, boom, really loud. I mean, it was so loud, it was awful.
Authorities say the 31-year-old suspect was believed to be a hotel guest, and that all names in the hotel were run through government databases as part of a regular security protocol, according to a law enforcement source.
We're going to learn from it, but make no mistake about it, the Secret Service did their jobs last night.
This incident happening as Washington and the White House prepare to host King Charles and Queen Camilla this week. The U.S. and U.K. are now going over additional security plans. I'm Jen Sullivan reporting.
Very interesting. There's a little controversy going on with with the Secret Service and how they took out JD Vance first. People are saying they should have took out the president first and all this stuff. But, you know, honestly, they did a good job because really nobody got hurt. Nobody got hurt. And the suspect is still alive, so they can question him. He's probably not going to say much, but they can question him, try to get as much information out of him as possible. But it's a wild situation, man. I wouldn't want to be the president of the United States. I don't think I would want to be the president. There's too much people that you need to try to please, and just because if you don't please one person, you know, they might have a vendetta against you. So it's a very tough position and tough job to have as being the president, even if you're doing a great job. But let me know y'all thoughts about this down in the comments below. I'd really like to know y'all thoughts, man. Thank you guys for tuning in. I appreciate y'all viewership. And as always, man, double tap that screen for your boy. All right. So I have someone here in the comments that says they want some advice on improving their language, their English language. The best advice I could give you, man, is really just honestly just coming to America or having a very good American friend that, you know, speaks your language, speaks his speaks English, and shoot, yeah, you guys can practice like that. I think that's the easiest route. You know, practice makes perfect. The same with me. I'm trying to learn Spanish, to be honest with you. I think I want to learn Spanish, and I'm trying to learn a little bit of French, you know. But Spanish is one of the languages that I really want to learn just because I love the culture. Not only do I love the culture, man, it's just, no, it's not like a Spanish person, man. No, not like a Spanish language. Like a Spanish woman, bro. All right, let's continue. Somebody said the GOAT in the chat. I appreciate you, Bob. I appreciate you, man. Thank you for tuning in. Man. We back, man. It's been like a week and some change, maybe 2 weeks since I've been streaming, and you know, I miss it, man. I really do be itching. Sometimes I be like, dang, I gotta get up here and say something, because I missed the chat. I miss communicating with people all across the world, man. So many people from different places be coming in and saying what up. And, you know, I just really do appreciate the viewership, man. I really do appreciate it. We gonna get into the next subject here. Before we get into some updates about the shooting, we're gonna talk about a Detroit shooting. We're going to talk about this.
Three people.
We're going to talk about. Three people shot and killed outside of a Detroit gas station. Can't make this stuff up, ladies and gentlemen. Let's tune into the video, see what's going on out here in the streets.
Three people shot and killed at a gas station. All of this captured on security video. Fox 2's Camille Amiri live tonight on Detroit's west side with the latest on this homicide investigation. Camille.
Yeah, Dave, so it happened here right near where I'm standing, actually, here at the Sunoco around 3 o'clock this morning. McNichols and Loss are in Detroit. Let's take a look at some video. This is the security video. Obviously, you will not be seeing where the shooting happens, but you see people get out of one car and approach another car, and then one person grabs somebody in that orangish colored car, and then shots are fired. Then what you're seeing, what we're fast forwarding to, is the actual orangish colored car backing up. They stayed on the scene. They tried to get into the gas station to call for help, and it was closed, 3 in the morning. They called 911, waited for police to get here. Altogether, 3 people shot and killed. The suspect, the shooter, did stay here waiting for police to arrive, and police confirmed that that shooter is in police custody at this hour. Meanwhile, police say that this started out as some kind of car crash prior to coming here. Then the two parties met up here at the gas station, and then you saw it unfold. It obviously is a horrible situation. police trying to figure out
Damn.
if this was a case of self-defense, because you see that the one person you saw actually goes in and reaches in, but it's going to be up to the prosecutor whether or not charges will be filed. But still, an absolute tragedy. 3 people shot and killed here in Detroit early this morning. For now,
Damn.
we are live in Detroit. Camille and Mary, Fox 2 News.
Camille, I know a lot.
So my thing about this, man, is people got to know how to control themselves in public. Not even just in public, but just in control themselves in general. Like, you should never be this mad that you need to take your gun out and shoot 3 people to death. Like, even if they crashed your car and you have a nice car and everything is probably paid off and you just feeling yourself, but there's gotta be a mindset with our youth to where life is precious. Why you gotta waste it? You know what I'm saying? Like, why do you have to take it this far? 3 people dead now because of what? A car accident? A car accident. They didn't do you dirty. They didn't violate you in no type of way. They crashed into your car. And now you took their lives. I think that's just wild. I think that's a disrespectful way to go out. It's not worth it, man. It's not worth it, because now you done lost your privileges of life and freedom, and you're behind bars now trying to fight for your life and freedom, and you probably not going to make it. You're probably going to have to serve some time, and you're probably going to have to be in there for a very, very long time. And just because your car got hit, that's tough, man.
A lot of area gas stations are green light gas stations. Is this one of them?
Let me know y'all thoughts, man. Let me know y'all thoughts.
Yes, it is. It is. That video that you did see is actually from a monitor through a cell phone that someone here at the gas station shot from the monitor and then gave it to us. So that's why it wasn't very clear. But I thought it was important to show everybody exactly what happened. Obviously, this could have been prevented. 3 lives lost, all for nothing.
Yeah,
for nothing.
Truly a tragic situation.
People don't care anymore, man. I'm starting to realize that. People do not care about human life. They don't care. They don't think it's precious. They don't think that it's meaningful anymore. We all live in a life of GTA out here, some of us. And, they're so easy to just pull the trigger and take life that, it sucks. It really does suck. We're so used to it now in America, and honestly, it could get better, but this stuff is bad, man. This stuff is bad, man. But let me know y'all thoughts about this down in the comments below. I'd really like to know y'all thoughts, man. Thank you guys for tuning in. I appreciate y'all viewership, man. Make sure you guys hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button too if y'all are new, man, as we get into the next topic. A lot of things have been going on, man. I can't be here much longer, but I got a few more things that I want to talk about. Apparently, there is this California medical cartel that had
those with a certified life expectancy of 6 months.
Sorry. That had the FBI on their radar, and apparently they made over $500 million doing this scheme. And they weren't really doctors. They weren't really medical professionals. They were just cartel people. Let's tune into the video, man. Let's see what's going on out here in these streets.
The FBI is helping federal and state officials look into these scams. According to investigators, fraudsters would recruit healthy people into their hospice program. Then recruiters or corrupt doctors would line their pockets with millions of taxpayer dollars.
5:10 a.m. Houston, Texas. March 18th, 2026. $2.5 billion in bribes. 31 police officers already exposed. 65 more under investigation. Not criminals hiding from the law enforcement selling it. One disgrace that should never have existed inside the United States. In less than 90 seconds, FBI and ICE agents breached a $14.7 million mansion tied to a former Somali police commissioner. Badges were traded like currency. Investigations were erased. Entire operations were cleared before they even began. This wasn't corruption. This was betrayal at scale. And what they found inside that mansion would expose something far more dangerous than anyone expected. If this kind of corruption disgusts you as much as it should, hit like and subscribe, because what
the individuals targeted this morning were committing a variety of healthcare frauds in the greater Los Angeles County area, including operating fraudulent hospice care facilities. You're going to hear a lot about that this morning.
The serenity of Southern California's most affluent zip codes
It's crazy because in Minnesota, you know, the Somalian community is going through it too. But it looks like they still having fraud even in other places in the United States of America. We're gonna really unfold all of this stuff, obviously, because, you know, they're looking into it, the FBI.
Rated at exactly 4:30 a.m. when 200 federal agents executed a series of high-stakes raids on 35 separate luxury estates. This wasn't a standard local sweep or a low-level sting. This was the climax of Operation Bitter Pill, a multi-agency surgical strike targeting a protected class of criminals, licensed medical professionals. By sunrise, the FBI had neutralized a criminal syndicate consisting of 35 doctors and nurses who had allegedly compromised the American healthcare system to the tune of $500 million. They didn't use forced entry to rob the public. They used medical credentials and federal billing codes to execute a $500 million heist. The scale of the operation was unprecedented. Across Los Angeles, Orange, and Riverside counties, tactical teams moved in total radio silence to secure digital evidence before it could be wiped. At the primary command center, a deceptive medical billing firm in Glendale, investigators discovered what they described as a billing factory that operated with the clinical efficiency of a high-frequency trading floor. This wasn't a place of healing. It was a high-speed data hub engineered to drain the U.S. Treasury. Evidence seized on site revealed the network was pumping out over $1.2 million in fraudulent Medicare claims every 24 hours. For these defendants, the sacred transition of end-of-life care was treated as nothing more than a high-volume revenue stream. The core of the federal indictment details a chilling disregard for legal ethics and human dignity. In the United States, hospice is a benefit strictly reserved for the most vulnerable, those with a certified life expectancy of 6 months or less. It is a system built on absolute trust, and prosecutors allege these 35 professionals dismantled that trust for profit. Investigators found that at one Anaheim-based facility linked to the network, an impossible 92% of terminal patients had been enrolled for over 3 years. These people were not in their final days. They were often healthy, active seniors who were being utilized as human placeholders. Many were completely unaware that, in federal databases, they were listed as suffering from end-stage terminal conditions. The syndicate allegedly operated a predatory recruiter-to-enrollment pipeline.
How do you not think you're going to get caught, though? Like, you know how much money this is and how much fraud this is actually, like, these people are doing? Like, that's so dumb. That's so dumb. But I get it, because in a way you like make a lot of money very fast. But like once you get caught, it's all over. It's all over. So I don't even know like why risk it at this point. Like what's the point of risking it? What's the point of doing all this if you know at the end of the day you're just going to get caught? You're just going to end up going to jail, and you probably going to have to pay back every single dime that you can back to the government or back to whatever people you stole it from. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
Marketers were dispatched to low-income housing complexes and senior community centers, masquerading as advocates offering free vitamins or transportation services. In reality, they were data harvesters. For every senior citizen they convinced to provide a Medicare number, the recruiter received an illegal kickback, and the participating physician received a substantial referral fee. Once the data was secured, a doctor would sign a fraudulent certification of terminal illness, often without ever examining the patient.
About this down in the chat.
The moment that electronic signature was processed, the syndicate began billing Medicare between $800 and $1,500 per day for intensive services that were never rendered. The financial fallout is staggering, but the criminal rot goes deeper than simple overbilling. As the FBI processed the arrested doctors, they uncovered the operation's darkest layer. Inside luxury vehicles and behind false walls in medical offices, agents discovered vacuum-sealed stacks of currency and ledger books detailing suspicious financial ties to international transit routes.
Crazy.
The $500 million siphoned from Medicare wasn't just funding estates and exotic cars. It was allegedly being used as primary capital for a massive underground infrastructure. These medical professionals weren't just white-collar fraudsters. They were the alleged financial backbone of a sophisticated shadow network, using taxpayer dollars to underwrite the very chaos they were sworn to protect society from. As the initial shock of the arrests faded, a far more sinister reality began to emerge from the forensic data. This wasn't just a group of greedy doctors padding their bank accounts. This was a sophisticated laundering operation designed to bridge the gap between clean federal funding and dirty underground capital. The investigation's deeper, more dangerous phase shifted from medical clinics to the shadowy intersection of healthcare and international narcotics trafficking. The $500 million siphoned from Medicare served as a massive financial filter, a way to move vast sums of money through the American economy without triggering a single red flag at the Treasury Department. According to federal investigators, the syndicate's financial structure was a masterpiece of criminal engineering. They didn't just spend the money on luxury, they reinvested it into a shadow network. In several raided properties in Orange County, agents found more than just patient files. Behind false walls and inside high-end safes, they discovered ledger books that looked more like cartel accounting than medical records. These ledgers detailed a wash system where proceeds from the illicit drug trade were mixed with legitimate-looking Medicare reimbursements. By funneling narcotics cash through the hospice facilities as private donations or operational investments, the syndicate could turn street-level drug money into clean corporate profits, which were then used to buy up more medical licenses and expand the fraud.
This is a huge thing that happened in California. I believe, honestly, that this is probably even bigger than what happened in Minnesota. Just because of how long they've been doing it and how much money was actually involved. These people almost made over $500 million with this fraud. $500 million, yo. $500 million. Like, I just need 20 million, bro. I just need 20 million and I'll be good. Like, I'll be out the way. No problem. $500 million and y'all still doing what y'all was doing, bro. Like, when is enough? When is enough? When do you say, like, yeah, all right, we good here. We got the number, we good. Because, like, you could have possibly gotten away with it. You could have possibly been in a whole nother country chilling right now. But no, greed, man. Greed is a hell of a thing, man. And people will never be satisfied with enough, even if it's enough.
Man. To the narcotics trade wasn't just financial, it was logistical. Federal prosecutors allege that the same marketers who prowled senior centers for Medicare numbers were also being used to scout transit routes and secure warehouses for illicit shipments. This was a dual-threat organization. One side of the house was stealing millions from the government through fraudulent billing, while the other side was using that very infrastructure, the transport vans, the medical supply chains, and the commercial real estate, to facilitate the movement of narcotics across Southern California. It was the ultimate camouflage. Who would ever suspect a hospice transport van, supposedly carrying a dying patient, of moving bricks of high-grade illicit substances? The lifestyle fueled by this $500 million heist was nothing short of obscene. As IRS criminal investigation agents combed through the suspects' digital footprints, They found a trail of excess that standard medical salaries could never justify. We are talking about $200,000 Italian sports cars registered to non-profit clinics and $10 million coastal mansions purchased through offshore shell companies in the Cayman Islands.
Crazy, man.
One high-ranking nurse, earning a reported salary of $120,000, was found to be maintaining an international travel itinerary that included 5-star stays in Dubai, Paris, and Macau, all funded by the commission she earned from signing off on fake terminal diagnoses. But the most disturbing discovery was the death ledger. Investigators found an encrypted database where the syndicate ranked patients not by their medical needs, but by their billing potential. Patients with clean Medicare histories were labeled as gold mines, while those who required actual medical attention were often ignored or transferred out because they were too expensive to maintain. The doctors weren't just ignoring the sick, they were actively avoiding them. They wanted the names, they wanted the numbers, but they had zero intention of providing a single minute of care. The $500 million was pure profit because their overhead was virtually zero. No medicine was bought, no real nurses were hired, and no equipment was utilized. It was a ghost healthcare system, a hollow shell of an industry designed solely to facilitate the transfer of wealth from the taxpayer to the criminal elite. The FBI's Financial Crimes Unit has already frozen over 150 bank accounts tied to the defendants. But they admit that tens of millions have already vanished into the cryptocurrency ether or been moved through Hawala networks, an informal money transfer system often used by international criminal syndicates to bypass traditional banking oversight. This was a war on two fronts, a fight to stop the bleeding of the American healthcare system and a desperate race to track down the narco-linked capital before it could disappear forever. The investigators were no longer just looking for fraud. They were uncovering a new breed of criminal, the narco-physician, who utilized the prestige of a medical degree to mask the heart of a kingpin. As the federal government's hammer finally fell, the focus shifted from the tactical brilliance of the raids to the catastrophic failure of the systems meant to prevent them. The final phase of this investigation exposed a regulatory void in California that allowed this $500 million cancer to grow unchecked for years. The sheer audacity of the 35 defendants wasn't just born from greed, it was born from a calculated belief that no one was watching. Prosecutors are now revealing that the state's oversight apparatus was not just lagging, it was effectively dormant. Legislative deadlines for hospice reform in Sacramento had been allowed to expire, creating a dark zone where convicted felons and active federal inmates were able to secure medical licenses and operate healthcare facilities with zero interference. The courtroom drama that followed the arrests has been nothing short of explosive. As the 35 doctors and nurses faced a federal magistrate in Los Angeles, the true cost of their betrayal was laid bare. These were individuals who had taken the Hippocratic Oath, only to trade it for a seat at the table of international organized crime. Federal prosecutors are now seeking maximum sentences, citing not just the financial theft, but the moral depravity of the scheme.
And that's why I feel like they wasted their time. That's exactly why I feel like when they got to a certain number, they should have just went and said, you know what, I'm good. I got my money. Let me get out of here. But instead, nope. They risked their life. They risked their license. And now they possibly going to spend the rest of their lives in federal prison. Let me know y'all thoughts about this down in the comments below, man. This is wild, man. This is wild. Shout outs to the Somalians, man. I know it's not all of y'all, but man, y'all got a bad reputation, man. I'm not gonna lie, man. Y'all got a bad reputation. A very, very sus one. But hopefully, hopefully some of y'all can turn it around for y'all community, and better days come. Better days come for the Somalians, man. That's all I'm saying, man. Let me know y'all thoughts, though. Thank you guys for tuning in. I appreciate y'all viewership. We're gonna review one last thing because I do have to get out of here, unfortunately. I'll probably try to be back on later on today. talk about more stuff that's been going on in the world, but I really want to just focus on what Trump now has to say about White House shooting, White House dinner shooting. We're gonna talk about this before we get on out of here. Let me know y'all thoughts down below in the comments of how y'all feel about this thing, and yeah, let's continue.
Well, thank you very much.
I'm gonna put up the speed a little bit, just so.
But incredibly acted upon by Secret Service and law enforcement, and this was an event dedicated to freedom of speech that was supposed to bring together members of both parties with members of the press, and in a certain way it did.
He's not a slow talker.
The fact that they just unified, I saw a room that was just totally unified. It was in one way very beautiful, a very beautiful thing to see. A man charged a security checkpoint armed with multiple weapons, and he was taken down by some very brave members of Secret Service, and they acted very quickly and have just released, for purposes of transparency, clarity, I've ordered it to be put out. You probably have it by now. Put out on Truth and put out on many of the platforms. A tape showing the violence of this thug that attacked our Constitution, and also showing how quickly Secret Service and law enforcement acted on our country's behalf. Really did a great job. One officer was shot, but saved by the fact that he was wearing obviously a very good bulletproof vest. He was shot from very close distance with a very powerful gun, and the vest did the job. I just spoke to the officer, and he's doing great. Funny. He's in great shape. He is has very high spirits, and we told him we love him and respect him, and he's a very proud guy. He's very proud of what he does, Secret Service agent. And we looked at all of the conditions that took place tonight, and I will say, you know, it's not a particularly secure building, and I didn't want to say this, but this is why we have to have all of the attributes of what we're planning at the White House. It's actually a larger room, and it's much more secure. It's drone-proof, it's bulletproof glass. We need the ballroom. That's why Secret Service, that's why the military are demanding it. They've wanted the ballroom for 150 years for lots of different reasons, but today's a little bit different because today we need levels of security that probably nobody's ever seen before. But everyone owes a tremendous debt of gratitude to the courage of law enforcement, the law enforcement, and working with the D.C. police, and we just spoke with the mayor. And when we're finished, the police chief is going to take over and discuss it also from their viewpoint. But they also performed exactly as they were supposed to, and you see the attacker in different positions, but you also see the attacker totally subdued and under control. So as you know, this is not the first time in the past couple of years that our republic has been attacked by a would-be assassin who sought to kill. In Butler, Pennsylvania, less than 2 years ago, you all know that story, and in Palm Beach, Florida, a few months after that, we came close. We really had, again, we had some great work done by law enforcement. But in light of this evening's events, I asked that all Americans recommit with their hearts in resolving our difference peacefully. We have to resolve our differences. I will say, you had Republicans, Democrats, independents, conservatives, liberals, and progressives. Those words are interchangeable, perhaps, but maybe they're not. But yet everybody in that room, big crowd, record-setting crowd. There was a record-setting group of people, and there was a tremendous amount of love.
Y'all think he was
coming
actually
together.
trying to target the president?
I watched, and I was very, very
trying to get
impressed
in there
by that. But we were, First Lady and I were taken very well care of, very quickly rushed off the stage. Vice President J.D. Vance, who's here, was likewise beautifully done. He was just saying how quickly everybody acted, law enforcement, Secret Service in particular in this case, but law enforcement. Marco had the same thing. Pete was there. Pete didn't want any help. He didn't want anybody to help him. He doesn't want anybody to help him, but he did get some, didn't you? And I think you also said that it was very impressive. So with that, I'd like to ask Todd Blanche to come up, say a few words, and tell you it's already underway. The man has been captured. They're going to his apartment. I guess he lives in California, and he's a sick person, a very sick person, and we don't want things like this to happen. I think it's very important that I say, though, and I told the representatives of the evening, they did such a beautiful job. It was such a beautiful evening. And again, they're talking about free speech in our Constitution. That's what it's all about, not just White House correspondence. It was really based on free speech in our Constitution. But I said very importantly that we'll do it again within the next 30 days, and we'll make it bigger and better and even nicer. So I just want to thank everybody that was involved. I also want to thank the press, the media. You've been very responsible in your coverage. I will say I've been seeing what's been out. You've been very responsible. So Todd Blanche, I'd like to say a few words, and then we're going to have cash. And then you're going to go on. We can ask, I guess we can take a couple of questions. I want to thank the First Lady that was a rather traumatic experience for her. There was a lot of action taking place up there very quickly. But again, the response time was really incredible. And we're going to reschedule. We're going to do it again. We're not going to let anybody take over our society. We're not going to cancel things out because we can't do that. We wanted to stay tonight. I will tell you, I fought like hell to stay. But it was protocol. They said, please, sir, because they didn't know there was a lot of action going on, and they didn't know could there be probably a lone shooter, but we'll find out. We'll find out very quickly. They have it very well under control. So I want to thank everybody very much. And Todd Blanche, please.
Thank you very much, Mr. President.
Let me know y'all thoughts, man. Let me know y'all thoughts.
The very worst and the very best of this country.
Seems like President Trump has been.
You saw the very worst by the actions of that coward that the president just talked about. But you also saw the very best because you saw law enforcement do exactly what they're supposed to do. And you'll see the videos come out, I expect, very shortly, and you'll see law enforcement do exactly what we want them to do. And so I echo what what President Trump just said, that we are extraordinarily grateful and appreciative of the men and women of law enforcement that did their jobs tonight, including one who was
Is Trump going to survive all 4 years?
This investigation is ongoing. I expect you will see charges filed shortly. The charges should be self-evident given the conduct, but as you'll hear, there will be multiple charges surrounding the shooting, around the possession of firearms, and anything else that we can get on this guy. The investigation is obviously ongoing and just started. There is federal law enforcement already working on search warrants and doing their job, and I don't want to get ahead of them and don't want to get ahead of the work that they're doing even as we speak. Director Patel and I were just on the crime scene a short while ago, and everybody in this room should rest assured that the Metropolitan Police Department, the FBI, Secret Service, everybody's on the scene doing their job. I know that the police chief is going to give an update from the scene as soon as we're finished here, and I obviously will leave the details of what they have learned to him. But in the meantime, I just want to thank everybody in this room for the courage. And I want to thank President Trump for his words, and I promise you, justice will be served. Thank you. Dr. Patel.
Thank you, General. Thank you, Mr. President. The President's absolutely right. You saw the best resolve of American law enforcement because you, Mr. President, inspire them 24/7, 365. You give them the resources that they need, and they know that you have their back. And that is a changing dynamic in this country, and that's why you saw brave Secret Service agents respond immediately.
What up, Keen? Thanks for
swiftly,
tuning in, brother.
and take down the suspect and
Hopefully I
safeguard
said
the
that
lives
right.
of thousands of individuals at that hotel. Thanks to our interagency partnership with the Department of Homeland Security and the Metropolitan Police Department. The FBI was rapidly deployed onto the scene, took over the evidence response unit, is examining all the ballistics that were found on scene, to include the long gun and the shell casings. We are conducting witness interviews as we speak. You will hear from our team on the scene there with the mayor and the head of the FBI field division there. But please know what the Attorney General has just said reigns no truer. You saw the very best of America tonight. The very best unite us at a time of uncertainty, because we have leadership here with the President and the Vice President that backs law enforcement, and the men and women that I shook their hands on the scene today could not have been prouder to show up on scene. And as the Attorney General said, make no mistake, we are conducting witness interviews. If you have any information whatsoever related to this event, 1-800-CALL-FBI, 1-800-CALL-FBI. No piece of information is too small. No piece of information is inadequate. We will evaluate it all. We will also be conducting interviews of those that were there. And if any of those individuals have information, please come forward to law enforcement or the FBI or the Metropolitan Police Department. We will be examining this individual's background thoroughly. That process has already started, and we are going to ensure that he was either a lone wolf actor or anyone else that was responsible. We will analyze all evidence immediately to make sure that we safeguard this country. Mr. President, Mr. Vice President, thank you for your leadership. Attorney General and Homeland Secretary Merlin, thank you for your partnership in law enforcement.
Thank you. Okay, we'll do a couple and then we go to the chief. Madam Chairman, I just want to say you did a fantastic job. What a beautiful evening, and we're going to reschedule. Okay. And after that, it's very tough for her to ask a killer question, right? But you have done a fantastic job. Please.
Mr. President, I appreciate it. As you mentioned, it all happened so quickly, and I wonder, especially because unfortunately you have experience with these sorts of threats. In that moment, when you realized there was a threat and service agents were telling us to get down, can you describe what was going through your mind, how you were feeling in that moment?
That's a very good question, actually. It's always shocking when something like this happens. It's happened to me a little bit, and that never changes. The fact, we were sitting right next to each other, the First Lady on my right, and I heard a noise and sort of thought it was a tray. I thought it was a tray going down. I've heard that many times, and it was a pretty loud noise. And it was from quite far away. He hadn't breached the area at all. They really got him. But, so it was quite far away, but it was a gun. And some people really understood that pretty quickly. Other people didn't. I was watching to see what was happening. Probably should have gone down even faster. Melania was very cognizant, I think, of what happened. I think she knew immediately what happened. She was saying, that's a bad noise. And we were whisked away along with other people, but we were really whisked away. And again, the performance of the Secret Service and the police, all of the law enforcement, I thought was really good. So it was very quick. There wasn't a lot of time to be thinking, because it was a matter of seconds before we were out the door and gone into an area. We very much, and you wanted to too, we very much wanted to continue it, because I don't like to let these sick people, these thugs, these horrible, horrible people, change the fabric of our life, change the course of what we do. So we held out. You were there. We held out right till the end, but they didn't want to take a chance, and I understand there was protocol. But we're going to be doing one hopefully within the next 30 days or sooner, and I am ready, willing, and able. And I was all set to really rip it. And I said to my people, this would be the most inappropriate speech ever made if I said one. So I'll have to save it. I don't know if I could ever be as rough as I was going to be tonight. I think I'm going to be probably very nice. I'll be very boring the next time, but we're going to have a great event. And you did a fantastic job. Thank you very much. Peter, go ahead.
Thank you, President Trump. There's a report in the New York Post that this assailant assembled his weapon somewhere on site at the hotel. What do you think about that? And I ask respectfully, why do you think this keeps happening to you?
Well, you know, I've studied assassinations, and I must tell you, the most impactful people, the people that do the most, you take a look at the people, Abraham Lincoln, I mean, you go through the people that have gone through this where they got them, but the people that do the most, the people that make the biggest impact, they're the ones that they go after. They don't go after the ones that don't do much because they like it that way. And when you look
That's
at
fair.
the people that have either, whether it was an attempt or a successful attempt, they're very impactful people. Just take a look at the names here, the big names. And I hate to say I'm honored by that, but I've done a lot. We've done a lot. We've taken this country, and we were a laughing
fair.
stock for years, and now we're the hottest country anywhere in the world. We've changed this country, and there are a lot of people that are not happy about that. So I think that's the answer, Peter.
And after Butler, your team for a while rethought outdoor events.
Yeah.
Do you think that you now need to rethink
No.
indoor?
Well, but then you just don't do events. No, I can't do that. I have to. It is what it is. We have to do it. The room was very, very secure. He charged from 50 yards away, so he was very far away from the room.
And what did you think when you saw the video of how fast he was running?
He was moving.
He was.
Really moving. And the reaction time was great. Boy, those guys, they had their guns drawn literally by the time he was there. They were shooting.
That's right.
I thought they were very impressive. And if I didn't, I'd let you know. I'm not going to be, I would not stand for that. No, I thought they were very impressive.
Thank you, President Trump, and thank you for updating us on
Thank
the
you.
suspect earlier. Were you aware of any threats? Was your team aware of any threats beforehand? And do you believe you were the target of this tonight?
I guess. I mean, these people they're crazy. They're crazy, and you never know. He was very far away from me. He had to go through a lot. We had resources all over. We had resources sitting at tables, literally in disguise, sitting maybe at your table, who knows? But we had people all over the room, so he had a long way to go. That was really a first line of defense, and they got him. And they really, they acted incredibly. No, there was no notification. We had no idea. Go ahead,
Do you know
Kevin.
any political motivations from this?
Well, you never know. Now, we'll be able to tell you that maybe by tomorrow or the next day. He's in custody, and they're asking him a lot of questions. I guess they're going over, Todd, and they're already at his apartment. He lives in California.
Yes, sir.
And they're over there, so they'll be able to tell you. Thank you, Caitlin.
President Trump, did the suspect say anything, or was he wearing anything that would allege some type of motive here?
Nothing. No, I mean, he was a guy who looked pretty evil when he was down. They had him down. He was fighting hard. He was in my opinion, a sick person. Who would do that but a sick person? But I think you're going to find everything about him. No reason to talk about it now. But tomorrow at this time, long before this time, you're going to know a lot of things about him. They seem to think he was a lone wolf, and I feel that too.
Are you concerned about U.S. Secret Service protection ability? We saw several of the detailees take minutes to be escorted out of the room.
No, they acted very quickly. No, I was very impressed by Secret Service. I mean, I'm the one, and Mark Wayne, you would agree with that, I think.
Absolutely.
I'm the one that would complain. You don't have to complain for me. I would be complaining. I'd be up here right now saying they didn't do their job. Oh, believe me, because, it's my life, and I want to live because I want to make this country great. That's why I want to live. But when you're impactful, they go after you. When you're not impactful, they leave you alone. Okay, a couple of more. Go ahead, please.
Is there any indication that this shooting was?
Shout out to President Trump, man. A lot of people don't like him,
I don't think so.
but he's doing what he got to do.
We're going to know a lot. We have the best people in the world working on it, and we're going to know a lot. Please.
Mr. President, there's a lot. You, as well as some of us who have covered Butler, experienced another horrific day 2 years ago.
Yeah.
What felt similar? You had the First Lady with you today. What felt different? And you have another 2+ years in office. Are you concerned about something like this happening
Well, I
again?
can't be concerned. I can only get great people. They did the job, in my opinion, a much better job than Butler. Butler had one weak spot that we all know about. Somebody should have been up there. But even Butler, we had our sniper on our side within 4.2 seconds from a distance of about 400 yards, one shot, and he was gone. And if he didn't do it, now, he's David. His name was David. I say, hello, David, every time I see him. David, I like you very much, David. But think of that. Now, if he doesn't hit him, and he hit him right between the eyes from 400 yards without any notice. Nobody knew. He heard a sound. He looked over, and there was actually a tree that was somewhat in his way. You know the story very well. And he aimed, he fired, and if he didn't do that, beyond me, you would have had a lot more people killed. We lost one great person and 2 people very badly hurt. They're okay now. But no, that was so. In a sense, you know, that was pretty amazing the job they did. But they did have that one weak spot, as you know. They should have had that covered. Tonight they had everything covered very quickly, and he was fast. He was running full blast, and they got him before they got any further. I was very far away. You know, he hadn't anywhere close to breach the doors of the ballroom. The ballroom was sealed, and everybody in there. That's why once those doors opened, they didn't want to do tonight. If the doors weren't opened, we could have probably done it tonight, but I think we're much better off rescheduling. Yeah, please.
Mr. President, for you and perhaps law enforcement as well, what is the level of confidence that this was a lone actor, and has the suspect made any statements to police while in custody?
Yeah, I think it's just it's my profession. We have great professionals up here and outside that have been working with us.
Make sure y'all hit the vote.
My impression is he was a lone wolf, whack job. These are crazy people. These are crazy people, and they have to be dealt with. We had that in the second attempt, as you know, and he's spending life in prison, because if you let him out, they'll probably, you know, if he serves 10 years or 15 years, you let him out, he'll probably try it again with somebody else. They're sick people. We have a lot of sick people. But you're going to know, I think very shortly, you're going to know, Todd, a lot about him. You're going to know a lot about him. Yeah, a couple of more.
I'll do one more
please,
question.
Go ahead.
Are you concerned about political violence? This could be politically
All
motivated.
violence. You know, I'm concerned about everything. Look, but I can't be so concerned that you can't function. No, I'm here. It's a dangerous profession. You know, I tell the story. Race car drivers, I think it's very dangerous. So if you take 1% and then take about 10% of 1%, just to break it down very easily, they die. So much less than 1%, 10% of 1%. I think bull riding is very dangerous. If you take about the same 10% of 1%, much less than 1%, but if you take presidents, it's 5.8%, and about 8% are shot at. So nobody told me this was such a dangerous profession. If Marco would have told me, maybe I wouldn't have run. Maybe I would have said, I'll take a pass. No, it's a dangerous profession, but I don't view it that way. Look, I'm here to do a job. It's part of the job. It is a dangerous, I can't imagine that there's any profession that's more dangerous.
I don't think so.
But
honestly.
I love the country, and I'm very proud. I'm very proud of the job we've done. You see what's happened. We have a great country. We've got, I think, the most successful, the hottest country anywhere in the world. This happened over a period of just a year, and we're going to do great things. But with that come risks. There's no question about it. Yeah.
Well, gotta say this too, man. I do believe that the president of the United States, whether you like him or not, it is definitely one of the hardest and the most dangerous jobs you could have out there. Just because off of the simple fact that, like I said earlier, you have to be able to please so many people. And if you don't please everyone, or if you try not to please everyone, and there's people out here that just hate you for hating you, you're going to have a target on your back regardless of what you do, even if it's a good job. So this is probably not going to be the last time that we see an attempt on any member of the presidency. Even mayors and governors have a tough job, because there's people in their cities and their towns that frankly just probably hate their guts just because of what side of the aisle they lay on. You know what I mean? And it sucks that they have to deal with that. It sucks that, you know, there are some corrupt politicians that made it bad for people, but it's a tough game, man. And you got to know this when you sign up for this position. You got to know this when you sign up for any governmental leadership position, that you gonna have a target on your back. And you know, I've even thought, like, maybe in the future, what if what if? You know what I'm saying? What if I chose to go a route of being a politician? And I thought about it and I thought about it and I was just like, you know what? I don't think it's for me. I don't think it's for me, man. Like, I don't mind supporting someone. I don't mind giving my opinion about, how things should be ran or how we can make this a smoother society. But to me, putting my face in front of a city or a town or even the country, I think that's just a little bit too much. And I don't need that pressure in my life, man. I'm trying to be low key as possible. I'll be honest with you. I'm trying to be in and out the way. You know what I mean? I'm trying to do what I got to do, make money, make my family happy, make my family proud, make a whole lot of money again and keep it pushing, man. Just be happy. This seems like it's just a stressful position. And yeah, I'm not trying to live my life like that, man. But let me know y'all thoughts about this down in the comments below. I'd really like to know y'all thoughts. Thank you guys for tuning in for another episode of the Dgotsauce show. This is episode number 10. And we got many, many, many more to go. I will be back soon, so make sure you guys keep those notifications on. And if y'all are new, man, hit that subscribe button if y'all enjoyed the show. I appreciate y'all again, man, for everything. Unfortunately, I do have to head out. I have to run out and do some more errands before the night is over. It's 1:30 right now, so got some time to do stuff, but I gotta get out of here. And yeah, until next time, I appreciate every single one of you again. Like I said earlier, man, chase your dreams. Go out there and accomplish your goals. Don't let anybody stop you. You are special, man. You're a special person, and you can do it. Female, male, doesn't matter. Race don't matter. Just go out there.